discuss. So those who have attempted it, they are right about it, and it's B. So who wants to take a lead and explain the thought process behind? Anybody wants to explain?
Yeah, may I, Pooja? Sorry, Tuba.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. As per the question says that my role is as independent contractor. So if I go through the option A, B, C, and D, for the option D, it's not, you can say, viable, as that I will prolong the negotiation and get more fees from the both the parties. For the option C, in the contract, the buyer should get the best price, but that is not also viable. Then we go for the option A and B. In the option A, it says you get the deal for the client no matter what costs the buyer. It's also wrong. So the last option is to, you can say, play a fair deal. So that's the option B.
Yeah, because if I leave the option B for now and I talk about A, C, D first, which are the wrong choices, you can say that there is a biasness towards one party in each of these options. So if option A says that being the independent contractor, for those who are not really aware of how this setting works, the independent contractor sits in the middle of both parties, the buyer and the seller, and that contractor actually is working for both of them in a way that for the seller as well, he is working to like materialize the lead and to make it work for them, and for the buyer as well, they are making it work for them with the seller, right? So they are sitting in the middle. So the point is, and at times this setting works this way, that there is a main buyer or the main customer who hires a contractor, that which is termed as a lead contractor in most of the regions or in most of the settings, and the lead contractor in turn hires the subcontractors, right? Which in turn becomes the seller for that main contractor, right? And the main contractor is the seller for the customer, the ultimate buyer or the customer, right? Whatever the case is, the contractor, the lead contractor or the independent contractor can't be biased to one party, be it the subcontracting or the seller side, or be it the buyer or the customer side. He should be fair to both parties and should be fair on his part as well. So the first choice actually talks about being being more influential, like buyer being the more influential on the independent contractor. And the option C talks about seller should get the best price. This is also a biased opinion. And you make more money by stretching and by prolonging it as a contractor. It's also very unfair, right? It's very unfair, at least in the theory, in the as per the best practices. So it should be a fair deal for you, for the buyer, and for the seller, and for everybody who is involved in this setting. That is going to be as per the code of ethics. Code of ethics, and more specifically the fairness and the responsibility trait. Maybe someone would disagree with that. Maybe they would say that in the practical world, we see A happens more, or maybe in the practical world, we see that the independent contractors are more towards the option D. I agree. I agree that it may happen, and even C can be a possibility as well in the practical world. But something is a possibility or something happens in the real world doesn't make it right. Okay? So this is exactly where you need to wear the PMI head, and you need to think from a PMI mindset. Okay? So we have already talked about that in the introduction to PMI part.